In the last video, we moved our burger builder side effects into its own saga. Let's now finish this whole module or our transformation of the project by working on the order action creators. If we have a look at that file, we can already see the Axios import, so we're doing some side effects in this file. The first action creators are pure though, but then we get purchase burger, where we have some side effects. And we also have fetch orders, where we have some side effects. Let's start with purchase burger. Let's move that logic into a saga now. So for that, I'm going to grab all that code and create a new file, which I'll name order.js in the sagas folder. There I'll export a new generator, and I will name this generator purchase burger saga. So purchase burger saga, like this. Get the action here and run this code, which we will of course replace. In the order.js file in the actions folder, we see that we're using the custom Axios instance. So let's import that. I'll go back to my order.js file in the sagas folder and add that import at the top. We will also import put from redux saga effects. So let's make sure to also add this import. And since we also plan to, put some actions, essentially dispatch some actions from in here, I'll import all the actions from my actions folder. With that, we can start putting actions here. So we dispatch purchase burger start here. Now we use put since we're in a saga. For that, we need to make sure that purchase burger start is actually exported. So if I go to the index.js file in the actions folder, I should make sure that from the order file, purchase burger start is exported. And the same will be relevant for purchase burger success and fail, which I also eventually dispatch here. So let's make sure both are exported to purchase burger fail and purchase burger success. Back to the order.js file, the sagas folder, I can then yield put purchase burger start like this. However, executed on this actions object, which bundles all the action imports. Then I'll get my response here with yield Axios post. And as before, wrap it in a try block to see if that succeeds. So let's move that in here. And if it did succeed, I will yield put actions purchase burger success and pass on response data name. And we also see down there in our old code, we also passed on order data, which we received as an argument in our action creator here. Now the idea will be to simply forward this to our saga and access it on our action. So forward action order data. However, this needs to be done up here, of course. So action order data will be forwarded besides the data name, which will be the key which was created on Firebase. Now, one other thing we should do here, where we append the token and pass the order data to the server. Both of these, of course, also should be extracted from the action we receive so that we can forward this. With that, we got the success case set up. Now I can catch an error and then dispatch this action here if we do have an error. So here I will yield put actions purchase burger fail and simply forward the error to this action creator. With that, I can remove all of that, save this, and then work on the action creator to, for one, forward order data and token, and to give us an action we can listen to so that we can execute this saga when it occurs. For that, I'll go to action types first of all. We want to purchase a burger, remember that. So in action types, I will now go here and export a const purchase burger, which receives the name as an identifier, just like that. So that in the order.js file, I can remove all the old code here and instead simply return a JavaScript object, which is the action we create, where we use action types purchase burger, and where we pass on the order data we receive as an argument in the action creator, and where we pass on the token, so that we never have to change any code anywhere in our application, because the action creator works as before. It just now only creates an action instead of running some code. But that will be done in the Saga, and for that to succeed, we need to create a watcher for this purchase burger Saga. So in the index.js file in the Sagas folder, I'll create another generator function, which I'll name watch order, because it watches my order related sagas. And here I first of all will add an import. So import something from ./order, and that something is this purchase burger saga we just created. So here in watch order, I will yield take every action types. There it's the purchase burger action type we just created, and we want to execute the purchase burger saga generator whenever this occurs. Now everything is hooked up and we should be able to still make purchases, but now using our Saga. Let's see if that is the case. Let's save all files and go back to our application. Let's reload it and authenticate. So I'll simply sign in here, switch to sign in. Let me now build a little burger and order it now. Continue. Continue here. Let's enter some data. With all of that entered, let's click order, and purchase burger is executed here. We don't see anything else happen though. Do you know why? Because we missed one crucial step. We created the watch order generator, but we never run this. In index.js, where we create our store, we need to execute Saga middleware, run, and now run our newly created watch order generator. So let's pass a reference to watch order to that run function call in here. Let's save it, and let's now try this again. Still logged in, so let me quickly rebuild this burger here, continue to checkout, and enter the same data again. And let's now try this again. Let me click order. And this looks much better. Now we see purchase burger success here, so it looks like we did actually make a successful purchase. That's really great. So let's make sure that we also fetch orders from within the Saga, so that we really have only pure action creators in all these action creator files. For that, I'll go to my order.js file in the Sagas folder, and in there, I'll create a new generator function, and the action creator was named fetch orders. So I will name the Saga here fetch orders Saga. I will receive my action, and I copy in the code I have in the action creator thus far. We will eventually dispatch fetch orders start, fetch orders success, and fetch orders fail here. So we should make sure that in the index.js file of the actions folder, we actually export all these actions. So fetch orders success, fetch orders start, and fetch orders fail. I added them all to the export. With that back in the Saga file, we can start by simply yielding our put call to dispatch actions fetch orders start to essentially show the spinner. Then we set up our query parameters, where we extract the token and the user ID. To access them, we should expect them to get them from the action we handle. So let's add action dot in front of both. Then we make an HTTP request. And you learned how to do that. Store it in a response, or in a constant in general, no matter how you name it. Use yield to make sure you wait for it to finish. And use a try catch block to also handle errors. So I will try to execute my get request here. Make sure to take this get with you. But I will also catch any errors we might encounter. Let's first work on the success case though. And let's use the code we had in the then block. So here in our try block, I'll paste in the code we had in the then function before. We create our empty array, loop through the response data, and push it onto this array, so that's all fine. And in the end, we dispatched fetch order success here. Now here I will simply yield put actions fetch orders success and pass on this fetched orders array we populated. With that, the then block is done. We have that functionality added to our saga. In the error case, we only need to yield put actions fetch orders fail and pass on the error. That's all. Now with that, let's cut it all. One thing I need to do here, I'm accessing REST data. Well, that's actually response. So let's use that constant name, restructure the code. And with that, we're done. We moved that into our saga, into the fetch orders saga. Now, the fetch orders action creator should therefore really just create our action object. For that, I'll create a new action type as always. This new action type will be fetch orders. So let's export a constant named fetch orders. We'll use that as a string identifier too. And then in the action creator order.js, I'll set the type of action types fetch orders and pass on the token and the user ID, as we will extract both from the action in our saga. Finally, we should listen to fetch orders to this action type in the index.js file in the sagas folder. Here where we have watch order, I will yield take every action types fetch orders and then use my newly created fetch orders saga. So this is what I want to execute whenever we detect this action type. Let's save all of that. And with that, we should have a setup where we can indeed reload the application. We're logged in automatically and visit our orders. And this still works now through a saga.